The Triple Crown is on the line at Cardiff Arms Park. My name is Mark. Let's talk rugby. Wales versus England. It's on at Cardiff Arms Park. Kickoff is 2:15 BST and it's on Saturday, the 15th of April. Let's start with a look at the two teams, starting with the home team Wales. So fullback is Courtney Keith, right wing Lisa Newman, centres Hannah Jones and Hannah Bluck. The left wing is Lowry Norkett. Halfbacks Eleanor Snowsill and Ciara Bevan. Then into the forwards, front row is Gwenillian Pears, Kelsey Jones, Cecilia Tuipulotu. Second row, Abby Fleming and Georgia Evans. Back row is Bethan Lewis, Alex Callender and Sienid Harris. Onto the bench then, Caris Phillips, Cara Hope, Cirrus Hale, Natalia John, Kate Williams, Bryony King, Fionn Lewis and Robin Wilkins. Then the England team, fullback is Emma Song, right wing Jess Breach. Centres is Lagi Tuma and Tatiana Hurd. Left wing Abby Dow. The halfbacks Holly Atchison and Lucy Packer. Forward pack then, front row Mackenzie Carson, Lark Davis, Sarah Byrne. Second row Zoe Aldcroft and Catherine O'Donnell. Back row is Sadia Kabea, Marley Packer and Alex Matthews. Bench then is May Campbell, Hannah Boderman, Maud Muir, Delaney Burns, Sarah Beckett, Ella Wirwas, Sarah McKenna and Ellie Kildun. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the team news. So Wales, two changes from the side that beat Scotland. Lowry Norkett gets a first Six Nations start as Caris Williams-Morris is unavailable. Hannah Bluck comes into the centres for the injured Kerry Lake. Bryony King is set to make her debut from the bench. England then, Emma Singh gets a first start at fullback. Abby Dow moves to the left wing to accommodate her coming into the team. Lark Davis comes in at hooker. Aldcroft moves from 8 into the second row as Alex Matthews returns from injury. Delaney Burns drops down to the bench. May Campbell, Hannah Boderman, Maud Muir and Ellie Kildun all come onto the bench. Campbell is set for her debut. Okay, so this is 8th ranked in the world versus 1st ranked. Wales been much improved, but England still the top team in the world and certainly the top team in the Six Nations. In terms of how the teams are going, Wales against Scotland had 59% possession and 53% territory. England had 65% possession, 66% territory against Italy. Wales got 3.8 points per visit to the 22, whereas England got 3 points per visit and 12 tries as well. Wales then against Scotland, they made 193 passes and 12 dominant tackles. So overall, a pretty decent performance from them. Didn't have everything their own way, but showed that they could deal with things. Scotland were fairly competitive, but Wales just seemed to have that little bit of an edge compared to the best of the rest, as it were, in this Women's Six Nations. England, they made 14 line breaks against Italy. Italy did actually play fairly well and made them work for their tries, but this English team is just so exceptional. Wales went 100% in the scrum and they won one Scotland feed as well. They were 80% in their line-out and they got 2 steals as well. England, by contrast, also 100% in the scrum, 86% in the line-out. In terms of then discipline, Wales, 15 penalties conceded against Scotland. That's a bit of a worry. If they do the same against England, that could be very bad for them. Individuals then, top carriers for Wales, Georgia Evans with 96 metres, then Keith 93 and Tuipulotu 92. For England, Abby Dow made a staggering 263 metres and scored 4 tries as well. The next was Claudia MacDonald at 172. Then they had 6 players who all made more than 100 metres. So some performance from them. And again, it's very hard to do direct comparisons just because of their level compared to everyone else. But Wales is showing that that gap is beginning to close. It may be a few years before it does, but teams are moving in the right direction. Certainly some teams are, at least. Alex Callender then for Wales was their top tackler, 18. George Evans was 16. She had some game against Scotland. For England, Tatiana Hurd was the top tackler with 13. And then for Wales, Beth Lewis also stood out with 2 line-out steals. For England, Marley Packer, 2 tries and 2 turnovers to her name. Great performance from her as always. Both coaches have been talking about the game in the run-up. So Johan Cunningham said he was talking about like where the teams are on their journey relative to each other, and that the fact that England are obviously much further down the journey than Wales. Wales have come a long way, but it's still got a lot further to go. Also said that the English domestic league is the best in the world, but Wales are making strides and they're excited by the challenge of this game. It's a triple crown on the line with a sellout, and they can't wait for the action. Simon Middleton for England then, he said Wales are obviously going to want to win the game and will have set their ambitions sky high. And he talked about how Wales have improved. They seem very together, very connected and very strong. And that in the past, England would have looked to just completely overpowered Wales because of the disparity, basically professionals versus amateurs. But now that Wales have full-time contracts as well, it's going to be slightly different. It's going to be more of an arm wrestle. And the advantage to England won't be as big as it has been in the past. So maybe they're going to have to tweak their tactics a little bit. And you get that, you get that kind of feeling that England in the past against, teams like Wales, Scotland, Italy, and Ireland, for the most part, in most years, they wouldn't get out of like second gear. They wouldn't need to bring their A game to beat any of those teams. And it was more about kind of competing for selection against the likes of France, or if it's a run up to World Cup or something like that. So that's where the performance will be driven from. But I think he's right. It's going to be more competitive with Wales. Wales really have, they've been great this year, and they're definitely going to be fired up for this one. They will need better discipline, or England will really punish them if they give away 15 penalties in this game. Then you can only see one winner. Most people can only probably see one winner anyway, but the margin might be a bit larger than you would expect, given Wales's improvement, if their discipline is that bad. That is, no doubt that they're going to fight for that triple crown, but I think that is probably a few seasons too early for them really to test this England team. England, it will be a tough test for them compared to most of their games in the Women's Six Nations. Again, it's not really England's fault that the standards of the other teams haven't really been up to much, apart from France, really, for a number of years. You had like a while, it's some time ago now that Ireland um, won the competition, and they haven't really been at the races at all. But now it looks like Wales are on the right track. Italy are beginning to come good as well. Scotland, kind of early on their journey as well, earlier than Wales, and then Ireland only really starting their journey now with pretty much a completely new squad. But I think England, they still should have too much for this Welsh team, and I think it's probably going to be close early on. But then, England should, in the end, I think, win comfortably. It's not going to be probably the huge margin that we've seen them, winning their first couple of games by, but still, I don't think anybody's going to be biting any nails in the last, few minutes of the game. I'd love to be proved wrong. I'd love to have egg on my face from that comment, but I honestly don't think I will. But if it was, like, I'd be shouting for Wales to cause an upset, because it's so important to have a competitive game. But either way, I think it's going to be an exciting game, especially early on, where Wales are going to be, in there fighting and doing their best to stick with England. But again, I think England are just going to pull away in the end.